Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the SH Figuarts Event Color Edition Android 17 and Android 18. I wasn't going to rush to review these guys because they are just repaints, and it's not like you can just go buy the other version anymore. You have to get them on eBay and pay out the wazoo. So I wasn't going to bother. I didn't know that there was really a need, but you guys asked. So here's my answer. Here's my review. I'm going to go over the differences and give you a quick rundown so that you have an idea. If for some reason you are still considering the old version over the new version, this will give you all the information you need to make that decision. So let's go ahead and get them off the stand and take a closer look. All right, first thing I want to talk about before we get into the figures themselves, packaging. This is still the old style. This is the original version. They had the dot matrix looking thing going on. I do appreciate that they carried over the orange and then the yellow. I think that's pretty cool. If they did that on purpose, that is awesome. I assume they did. If they didn't, well, that's really lucky. But I happen to really like the new packaging a ton. I know some people are still partial to the old packaging. That's totally up to you. But there you go. You can see the different packaging for him. And let's look at her packaging as well. Again, carried over the color scheme. Definitely a different style of package. So there you go. That's that for that, and that's it. No. All right, let's go ahead and talk about, let's do 17 first, because I think he is the lesser of the two, not only in the story, but also as the figure. I think I probably said that when I reviewed them originally. I don't know. We're not going to do the full reviews because they are physically the same as before. Okay, if you want to see the original reviews, they're probably pretty old now. Well, they are pretty old. Hopefully they're still watchable. I'll put a link up there so you can see them. I'm not going to go through everything because it would take forever and there's no point. The articulation is the same, the engineering is the same, the sculpts are the same. It's really just the paint and the accessories that may or may not be different, and that's what we're going to go over. So this is the new 17. He has a very well applied paint job. His jeans have shading all over the place. His little scarf thing has shading all over the place. There's not that much shading anywhere else, but it is a very clean paint job. His scarf and jeans have what may be the best shading out of any figure that they've released. They did a really good job, especially on the scarf. If we had more shading like that on that kind of orange for Goku on a regular basis, that would be fantastic. Now what I'll do is I'll show you what the old one looks like, just so that you get an idea in case you really prefer one color over the other. Now I'm going to be completely honest with you guys with my personal opinion. Now this is strictly my own idea. I would say get whichever one is cheaper. They are close enough that it's really not going to make that much of a difference. I should have opened that ahead of time. I didn't expect it would be difficult to open with one hand. So you'll see there is definitely a difference throughout. Darker blue pants, darker thingy on his neck. The black is even slightly muted on this guy. It's gray, it's not black. The white is different for the sleeves. Socks are pretty similar, shoes are pretty similar, except the white is now dirty. So you can see there's definitely a difference. Will some people have preferences? For sure. The new one, as far as I'm concerned, is a better quality looking figure. I would buy whichever one is cheapest. I'm going to leave that as my through line for 17. Whichever one you can get cheaper, go ahead and get it. This guy seems like his tolerances might be better. This guy seems a little bit loose, but that could be strictly production variance. I really doubt that the molds are different for something as simple as a slightly loose joint. I doubt they put that money into it. It's possible. But again, there's definitely a difference. This one has a little bit more of a super vibe to it just because of the way they did the eyes. But that's kind of not really a thing anyway. So yeah, there's a difference. All right, for sure. You can see it. Now you know. I like this one more. The new one I think is better. Although I kind of like this guy's scarf better. Anyway, again, go with whichever one is cheapest. Now as far as accessories go, let me show you the accessories for both of them, because this is kind of interesting. I'm not sure everybody was aware of this when this was announced. There's both of the trays of accessories. What do you notice? Hopefully you notice. They're the same. He is the exact same release, just different colors. That is it. You're not missing anything with the old one. You're not missing anything with the new one. It's strictly just a different set of colors. It is truly a color variation. So, again, for 17, get whichever one you can get cheaper would be my advice. If you have a significant preference for one over the other, obviously go with that. For 18, there's a little bit more to talk about. She is definitely a stronger release as a figure in general. She's more accurate, better engineered, less goofy looking for the sleeves, for instance, on 17. Did I call her 17 a second ago? I'm probably going to say the wrong names at some point because they're just two numbers. But there's the differences. You can see very different color blue. We have black pants instead of blue pants. The sleeves are very similar. Not going to mention that. I mean, I'll mention it. I just did, but that's not a huge deal. The hair is a little bit more saturated on the new one. Different color boots. As far as I'm concerned, the new one blows the old one out of the water. This one does have shading throughout the blue, and it's very subtle and nice. This one has shading throughout the blue, and it's less subtle and even nicer. And this one has glossy boots. This one doesn't. This one just in every way looks better to me. The one on the left, the new one, this one, much better, much better. And that's a good thing for them because we don't have the same situation as far as accessories go. Her accessories are different. So for this one, as far as the figure itself, the core figure, I'm gonna recommend you go with the new one 100% for sure. This looks like a collectible, this looks like a toy. There's a lot of shininess going on here. This one looks so much better with that shading. That guy had the best shading up until I saw this figure. Look at the shading on this one. That looks like she's wearing real clothes. I mean, the denim part, it looks so good. They nailed it. Awesome. And I personally love the head sculpt. The hair shading is better. The coloring is, or not the sculpt, the paint job for the face, I mean, the eyes. And then the hair and everything. It's so much better looking as far as I'm concerned. This one is. So as far as the core figure goes, the new one, this one, is far superior and I would recommend it. The old one does not look anywhere near as good. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the accessories. Let me put her back in her package so that I can move this around more conveniently. And this one is already out. Okay. Now, you can see here, we have a significant difference. The old one comes with the Krillin head, comes with a remote. That's a hand for the remote. We have an alternate or bonus face in the old one. So we have an extra face, a Krillin head, the remote, and the hand. Is that enough to make? Oh, I gotta fix those. Dang it, that one hand flipped. That one too. Anyway, this one definitely has a benefit here. Getting the Krillin head alone is a huge deal. The alternate head for her, I don't think it's a big enough of a difference. Who cares? You already have a bunch of different faces. They're all fairly similar faces anyway. So as far as I'm concerned, ignore the faces, ignore the remote in the hand. That's nice, but who cares? It really just comes down to the Krillin head. Do you need that Krillin head? If you need that Krillin head, then I guess go with the old one. But as far as I'm concerned, the new one looks so much better. And since it's just a very particular look for Krillin that you don't probably actually need, I would get rid of the old one. And by get rid of, I mean from your choice making. Get the new one. The new one's probably going to be cheaper at this point. Although maybe those have fallen off. I don't know. I'm just estimating. As far as I'm concerned, the new one for 18 is the one to go with. It's a much better looking figure, and the accessories you're missing out on, not that much. Not that significant as far as I'm concerned. Of course, you're going to have to decide for yourself what you find significant, but my personal suggestion, my recommendation, which is I'm assuming why you're here, is to go with the new one. So, this one, technically I said go with the new one, but whichever one is cheapest. I would say now that we've got both of them to consider, just get the new ones, even if this one isn't the cheapest. It's gonna match this new version of 18 better, so there you go. That's my final recommendation. Get the new ones. If you already have the old ones, go ahead and get the new ones anyway. You can appreciate them just like I do. If you don't have any yet and you didn't want to pay for the old ones and the new ones are out and whatever the pricing is, I still say go with the new ones. They're definitely better figures. Now, the pricing is gonna fling all over the place for these guys. They're exclusive, and the old ones are very hard to come by at this point, so there's no way for any time I I don't talk about secondhand pricing that much because it can vary so much and so differently from time to time. If you watch this video when I upload it, it could be one thing. In a week, it could be another. In a year, it could be totally different. So that's why I kind of say whichever one is cheaper for this guy, if it's a significant amount, maybe go that route. For this one, I don't think it's even a factor. Go with the new one, it's so much better. But if I had to say, regardless of price, get the new ones, I would say get the new ones. Don't get the old ones. These ones are better. But again, the price could be a total factor. So I can't really include that. I know that's probably made this more confusing than it needed to, but hopefully if you guys are collecting these kind of expensive figures anyways, you understand what I'm getting at, and you understand the situation about how secondhand prices can vary drastically, especially on exclusive items. So that information should have been helpful enough for you. Objectively, price not counted. Get the 2 new ones for sure. And then as far as the price goes, that's up to you. Okay, I'll stop talking about it. That's probably enough. Hopefully you guys are satisfied with that. Hopefully that gave you the information you need. And now I have a bunch of other reviews to shoot, so I will go do that. And you guys should probably subscribe if you haven't, because I have new videos out almost every single day. We actually go in depth in the reviews, not just talk about color variants most of the time, but sometimes it is what we have to do. So you probably should come back. And in the meantime, keep collecting.